block carving and then like use that to stamp onto the poster basically.
Okay.
Um, and the likeness seems like a pretty good likeness of somebody. So basically, it looks like someone did a portrait or something of these kids. So they had a good image to go on that they now have made it into a wood block and they've used it to stamp a poster with it. And all these ones are done like the same way. Like you are a little bit suspicious that the posters are so similar, um, and they have like basically all the same layout. Like it looks like the same printer just basically reused the same poster for one missing kid every time a family came to him, and he just like put in a new name, put on the new picture of the kid, if they want to change the reward available, and then all of them basically just say the same thing of like, uh, our kid. They're all ranging in ages from like 13 to 17 years old, and um, it's like uh, seven boys and there's one girl who's missing as well, and they all basically say to talk to the family if you want more information.
Let's say we're to talk to each family and like their houses on the each message or no?
Yeah, each one has like a house that mentions what the um, like what house you would have to go to basically to talk to the family more.
So I'm just gonna go. Like I'm gonna look at that and say, because you said they ranged in value. I'm gonna go the richest people, whoever it's offering.
Whoever has the
money.
highest reward, basically.
I'm just gonna go talk to them.
Of the missing children.
Yeah.
Okay. Just for the sake of time, we're just gonna give you an overview of this. If you guys are, you guys all okay with kind of talking to families about their missing kids,
Uh,
or do you guys want to try to pursue one of these other things? I can just give you an overview of what the families tell you.
yeah, I'd be fine with just like an overview.
Okay. So instead of having to do 8 conversations, what you find out after you've gone to the first family is that all the other families tell very similar stories. That these are well-off families, that they gave their kids everything they needed, that they took care of them, that they protected them, that they know Kadesh is not considered a great town anymore, but it's safe. People aren't dying here. There's no one's getting killed in the streets anymore. The guards that they have are you know they basically all tell you that. They even question like if they even need the guards for their side of town anymore, but um, they don't understand why their kids uh, would be gone. They would never have left home. That they were all good kids. That they understand that the town can be boring at times, but that's for their own safety, and they don't even understand like who would have had a chance to take them, like what would have happened. They have like no concept of like if you push them a little bit about like what their kids normally did or who they hung out with, they don't know anything about that. They're like no, they were good. They never did anything bad. They never got into any trouble. They kept to themselves. They were private. They never did anything to indicate that they would ever be unhappy at home, and they spent their days just like with the other youth of the town. And you also find out that the 8 kids who are like currently listed missing have not been the only kids who have disappeared. Like there's been some other kids who disappeared, but some of the families have kind of given up on ever getting their kids back.
Could I roll and investigate to just kind of investigate like the sum of all their rooms
Sure. Yeah.
to see if I can find anything?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good roll. Uh, yeah, kind of searching through the rooms a little bit, which the parents don't let you poke around too much there. It's their children's place, and all these parents still believe that their kids are going to be showing back up. But kind of as you poke around a little bit, you kind of see a common theme that each of these kids seems like they didn't actually just kind of stay on the good side of town. Like you see, they have like little trinkets and things, and they have like nice toys and things that they could use. These are like teenagers, so they have like good books, and they have like professional sports equipment basically. Like they're not playing stick hoop with just like a plain stick and a little woven hoop. They like have the good stuff. But then they also have like this little collection of like what you would associate as like things you would use to play just in the street, like what the poor kids would have. Like that's kind of a common
wooden
thing.
Swords and stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly like it's like if you were a rich kid and you were trying to fit in with the poor kids, like it's that kind of stuff. Like it's clearly out of place in their room, and certainly they could have afforded like better versions of these things, but it's like they have like like a wooden bat, but it's not like they have a nice wooden bat, and then they also have like this cheap one that's like, you just knocked a branch off and stripped the bark off of it, and that's how they made the bat. So you see little things, kind of little clues like that throughout their rooms.
So are Coralyn and Thorian also like just following myself and Zalthor going around to all these, just kind of tagging along?
I've kind of joined the group a little more, and noticing this, I think we should probably go talk to some people on the other side of town, see if they've seen or know of kids hanging out with the rich kids, where they might go hang out.
I mean, I agree. We should probably go to the slums and talk to some urchins, get some answers. Be
Okay.
Batman.
Yeah, you can meet that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to like go through and like add in a bunch of text to these things later, just to have these things more ready to go.
Can I try and seek out some sort of communication with the Thieves Guild? Like,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that, like, probably they saw me just, like, pocket a baguette off a dude. Someone did, and then they probably, like, know me. And
Also the Thieves Guild is totally just marked in town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a secret. Like there's a building with no sign on the door, but like one of those little like flapping wooden signs like hanging. It has no name on it, but it has this like a picture of a bag with like a hand reaching into it.
Okay.
And like in Thieves' Cant, which no one else really would know, I guess, but in Thieves' Cant, you see it's just marked as the guild. Like everyone else would just see like a weird chalk symbol across it, like above the door.
Right.
But you would know that's the Thieves Guild, and like if you bothered to ask anybody, everyone would know like that's where kind of the criminals hang out a little bit. It's not really a bar, but it's kind of like their place of business. And a lot of these people, they just pay protection money to these guys.
Okay. So yeah, I'd like to then, I guess, just go make contact with them.
Sure.
Let them know, like, kind of, I'm here. I'm not, like, stepping on your turf. Just, I try and get some information from them about the whole kid situation.
Sure. When you go to the Thieves Guild, what are the rest of you guys doing? You guys going to try to like follow him into the Thieves Guild, or are you guys just going to...
No, I'm gonna go see if I can talk to some urchins about the like more well-off kids, playing with them. I assume that they kind of like me because I was throwing money around.
Yeah,
Swarmed.
they'll come back to you, and I mean, I think,
in swarms.
right. If you want to try to kind of seek them out, it's not that hard, and I think they kind of got the picture that like you were trying to get rid of them a little bit. So like a little bit more cautious and not just necessarily trying to be mean to you because you have given them a bunch of money. But yeah, it wouldn't be that hard for you to find some of them and be able to talk to them. What about the rest of you? Thorian, Coralyn?
I'd like to go talk to the guard that's by the board.
Okay.
I think I'll go out into the slums too. I'd like to ask a few questions of some of the adults in the slums, and regarding if they've seeing these kids and who they might hang out with, not just the kids.
Sure. Let's see. All right. So first, I guess the first you come down to is the guard, and Thorian, as you talk to him, which maybe the rest of you can't hear this if you guys just kind of continued past, but Thorian, as you talk, you kind of approach the guard, and I guess just as a side note, you guys can either do role playing in character by telling me like, you can just say like, "Hello, guard. How are you?" Blah blah blah. Right? Or if you don't want to do that, you can also just say like, Thorian tries to talk to the guard and get some information out of him. Or like if you want to intimidate someone, you can just say like, I have a high charisma, and I say something like, "That sounds pretty intimidating," and then I can narrate what happens. So if you guys don't want to do like the talking in character, you don't really have to do that. Yeah. So you approach the guard.
Yeah. And I want to ask the guard what he knows about Jobru and Udiu as people in general in the town.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the guard tells you, Udio, he is a rich man. He's made his fortune on the backs of those less fortunate, and I shouldn't speak ill of him, but I know many who have been sold by him, and they haven't always fared well. And Jabru? Jabru's he's a dwarf, and he spends most of his time at the mine, although recently he's moved back here. He has his two brothers, or I guess one brother now, but they have not been out their mine. You, of course, saw the notice. They have a dragon problem, which I guess happens in these types of situations.
So what happened to the one brother?
Their other brother, he is gone. I believe he's probably dead, although I don't know if they've given up hope for him yet. I expect that... I'm just going to type this into the character thing, too, because you can't type on it, apparently. Actually, I guess I could make it so you can type on it. Yeah, he says... Yeah. So the other brother is gone, and he hasn't been back. Of course, none of them have actually been to the mine at all recently. They've kind of sent people out to poke around, and either they haven't come back, or they have come back unsuccessful at clearing out this dragon.
And I'd like to know if Jobru is the one that's been updating that board. If the guard's seen him updating the board.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, about every 2 weeks, he sends somebody out to try to poke around there, and based on what they say, he has kind of increased his estimate of the damage the dragon is doing. He told me the dragon is actually digging out part of the mine and just gathering the his hoard that way. He's not actually he's not going out and ransacking things and collecting a hoard there. He's just taking stuff from the mine, and he wants the dragon stopped as quick as possible.
Okay. And how long have the kids been disappearing? How long back?
You can see the guard has kind of like a little smirk on his face, and he says, "Well, they've been leaving for a while now." He doesn't want to tell you more than that.
And what's a while, man?
Well, I shouldn't really say much about that. They were all good kids. I'm sure that they'll be fine wherever they've ended up. I can see he doesn't really want to reveal much. He does tell you. You can talk to the families. If you want to find the kids, talk to them. They'll give you the rundown. They're all looking for their loved ones, and I'm sure they want them back. and maybe